Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Alex R. ASMR, and today I have some books that I'm not supposed to have because I was gonna walk past the charity shop and not go in and not look at the books, but then I did, and I slipped and fell on some books, and I had to take them home. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 books that I slipped and fell on, and if you break it, you have to buy it. So unfortunately, no fault of my own, here they are. And I thought that we could look at them together for rest and relaxation. So, shall we look at these books? Yeah? Okay. By the way, I have some travel coming up, so videos are going to be a little odd and a little strange for a little bit. They're going to feature some feralness and some unhingedness, and so if there's anything that you would like to see specifically, please let me know. I have not gotten to my emails and probably won't until 2028. I seem to be able to handle certain things like gluten or pollen, but email, I can't seem to open it and look. I just can't seem to do email. But I just wanted to insert this message and say, if you would like to see anything, please let me know. Let's begin this period of unknown uploads with book number 1 in our book haul. Quite fitting. This is Ways of Being by James Bridle. Boy oh boy, have I been trying to get my hands on this thing. So the subtitle for Ways of Being is Animals, Plants, Machines, The Search for a Planetary Intelligence. Okay, the ideas in this book are so big, so fascinating. Bridle wants us to consider the intelligence of animals, of plants, of machines. So, created a new way of thinking about our world, about being. This other quote says, alienation means thinking humans are special and different. However, this book will make you feel and think the power of knowing how, like all other life forms, we are. There is nothing more important. I've really enjoyed that element of our zeitgeist. I'm talking about the zeitgeist of the West, where more and more there is thinking about things as systems, thinking of intelligence as a system, everything becoming a bit less isolated. Even care and compassion as a system involves other people, and wanting to reintroduce health into our systems and our ways of living and understanding the world. I've loved seeing that. I see that a lot from Gen Z just on social media, but I've seen it everywhere. So I love encountering things like that, ways of being, planetary intelligence. I'm very excited about ways of being. I think navigating the turbulence and the darkness of the world, it calls for a kind of loving understanding of our own pain, and it has to come with choices. It has to come with new ways of being. So I'm hoping to see some ideas in this book about thinking and making changes. I love action. I love hope. I love understanding where we come from, and the understanding of how important it is to face the darkness of the world, translate it into positive action that brings good in the world. I have a lot of hope for that and a lot of optimism. mechanism for that. So I'm excited about that book. Book number 2. I was also very happy to see this in a charity shop for like £3. Because I've been wanting this, but it's just, I see it new in cool, edgy bookshops. But this is Accelerate, the Accelerationist Reader, #Accelerate. So this is a reader, so it's got a bunch of authors around this. So accelerationism is the name of political heresy, the insistence that the only radical political response to capitalism is not to protest, disrupt, or critique, but to accelerate and exacerbate its uprooting, alienating, decoding, and abstractive tendencies. Isn't that interesting? At the forefront of the energetic contemporary debate around this disputed term, galvanized by the poverty of reasonable political alternatives, #Accelerate activates a historical conversation around futurality, technology, politics, enjoyment, and capital. So, I'm very excited for this because I like a little bit of theory, and as I said, I'm all about some action. What are we gonna do? Especially, what are we gonna do? That word, alienation, the way in which we are cut off, we're cut off from joy in ourselves, and absolutely alienated, decoded. Everything is quite abstracted. It's hard to feel normal in these kinds of systems. What is the alternative? I'm open to any and all ideas. So I'm very excited about this little book, this little thick book about accelerationism. Undoubtedly, the authors in here will have different understanding of that term. So we have Karl Marx, Nick Land, Mark Fisher, Sadie Plant, a bunch of people, right? And hopefully this will just be a bit of a challenging but entertaining dive into alternatives and leaning into these traits of capitalism. One of the things I've been thinking about recently is the degree to which I think I can or cannot do this. Meaning this life of having a 9-to-5, and do I want a 30-year mortgage, and what are my creative potentials? I'm at that age. It's time to start thinking about these things. What do I want my old age to look like? What do I want to build in this world? What resources do I have? What are my challenges? I'm in a period of optimism where I think if I don't like something for my life, I can change it. What do I want to change? So these kind of books are very exciting to me, even though they're not about my life. They're about theory, they're about ideas, about the world we live in. But still, I'm craving access to ways of thinking about the world and the tense situations that we find ourselves in, that we gotta make our lives in. So, those 2 books alone, I felt very spoiled. I've got some other books that I was just thrilled to see in the charity shop, including this one, a little bit different. We're switching it up. Okay. Memoirs of My Nervous Illness by Daniel Paul Schreiber, I think. Look at this gorgeous cover. Yeah, heck yeah. So this says that in 1884, the German jurist Daniel Paul Schreiber, he suffered the first of a series of mental collapses. that would affect him for the rest of his life. In his madness, the world was revealed to him as an enormous architecture of nerves dominated by a predatory god. It became clear to him that his personal crisis was implicated in what he called a crisis in God's realm, one that had transformed the rest of humanity into a race of phantasms. There was one remedy. As his doctor noted, he considered himself chosen to redeem the world and to restore it to the lost state of blessedness. This, however, he could only do by first being transformed from a man into a woman. ... Hello? You can imagine my delight when I saw that this was in a charity shop and I could buy it used. Amazing. So this says that this was composed while he was in a psychiatric hospital. It has fascinated and haunted its many readers, including Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, Deleuze, and has established itself as a key text for students of psychology and modern social and cultural history. Slam dunk. Some people have football in the NBA. I have books. Okay? I have books. You don't understand. Some people have cars. They do whatever, they like a Lamborghini. Some people await the release of the new iPhones. I have books. And when I find a book, used, discounted, you can keep your lottery to yourself, because I found a good book for £3. My thirst for knowledge is unquenchable. In a former life, I was starved of knowledge, and indeed, one may argue that a life in a small town growing up in a school system that was rated unacceptable does indeed qualify as being starved for culture and for information and for life. So I am now spending my days feasting on ideas. I can't wait to read that book. That was Memoirs of My Nervous Illness. Okay, this next book, I would have to say, is a classic choice for me. I would have picked this out years ago, and I picked it out this time. This book is called Seeds of Change. Seeds of Change, 5 Plants That Transformed Mankind. I love a list. Give me a 5 anything. 5 blank that transformed mankind, and I'll probably read it. Now, the 5 plants, spoiler alert, I'm going to share them. If you don't want to hear these 5 plants, now's the time to click off. They are, in the first one, I don't know how to pronounce, quinine, spelling bee, Quinine, quinine, I don't know, and I don't know what it is, but it's number 1, quinine. Then there's sugar, tea, cotton, and the potato. So we can imagine this takes us all over the world, from America to China to Asia, and then to, of course, at the last chapter, the potato, to Europe, Ireland, and back to the United States. I had to get it. This is a perfect book for me. I love a book like that when I travel or when I go somewhere, so I had to get it. And finally, just a real treat that I think you'll totally get. You'll understand why I had to get it. This is Eyewitness Companion book. Eyewitness Companion, you already know. This is philosophy. I'm sorry, look at how delightful a book like this is. With the little pictures and the little text boxes. Yeah. Oh yeah, is that Socrates? Yep. But we have, is knowledge justified true belief? Like, what is belief, you know? I don't know. The medieval world, East versus West. What's going on there? The ancient Eastern thought. OMG. The philosophy of mind, featuring a big picture of chess. What is negative freedom? I don't know, but I'm going to. Reasoning? What is deductive reasoning? What is the masked man fallacy? I don't know, but I'm gonna find out when I read Eyewitness Companion Philosophy. Oh, imagine with me that we go on a long train ride. We get some coffee from the coffee stand inside the train. We sit by the window and watch the UK fly past, and we crack open the Eyewitness Companion to Philosophy. I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm so happy. I'm so freaking happy. I cannot wait. It smells like nothing. It has no smell at all. I don't care. Yep, nothing. But it's perfect. And I saw this and I had to get it. Any of these eyewitness books are a joy. Ooh, I would love to find one on animals or plants or whatever, but philosophy, I love that. So that's my book haul. Let's recap. I have this, the best book ever written, Eyewitness Philosophy. I have Seeds of Change, a respectable pick, classic pick, can't go wrong. I have Memoirs of My Nervous Illness. This is my equivalent of scoring a goal, a big goal in soccer. Is finding this book. Then I have hashtag Accelerate, which will hopefully accelerate my thinking on how the heck I'm gonna make a life for myself. I'm thinking about a van, spoiler alert, or a little shed that I could live out of. And then there's Ways of Being, which I will probably take on my journey in my upcoming travels. So we're gonna see. So here they are. These are the 5 books I slipped on, and they had to go into my pocket. And I slipped all the way home with them. And now they're here, and I'm so excited. Done. That was the book haul. I genuinely, truly appreciate you being here during my unhinged moments. Again, videos are going to be all over the place about anything. If there's something you would like to see, please let me know. I don't know what I'm going to upload or what or how, but I will. And yeah, I'll keep you updated. So, I'm wishing you a very good night if you're going to sleep, and good